Clears, I want to give you guys an update. This is version 2.14. I've given it the ability to auto restart itself, but with a couple of caveats that you might have to do manually in order to get out of the restart. And I think there's a way I can figure out later on, but I'll push this out now and I'll do an update later on where there'll be maybe a pop-up dialog. I think I don't know how to do it yet, but I have to learn how to do it. But once I learn how to do it, there should be a pop-up dialog that you can then click on it and then it'll stop, I think. But otherwise, this is the way to do it for now. Okay, so let's switch over. Show you what's going on. I created some extra redundant checkboxes so that if it does appear, great. But otherwise, there's gonna be some buttons here to kind of auto start it, and then you can test crash it. It'll crash and it'll restart. But once it restarts, you can't stop it anymore unless you go to your My Documents folder. And in your My Documents, there's gonna be a FOI tuner settings .ini. Just open with Notepad or something like that. And then while it's like restarting over and over, or if it crashes, whatever, you have to make this auto restart to it'll say true once you set it, but you need to make sure it's false and then save it. And then once you try end task or you close it and it loads up false, then it'll stop restarting itself and stop launching browsers. Okay. Now another thing is that once it crashes, it leaves the browser open. So I have a thing here that basically kills all browser processes. So if you're on the VPN, it'll kill any Firefox, any Chrome, any browser that you have open. If you have this on your local machine and you have Gmail, whatever open, it'll kill everything. Okay, so that's what it's gonna do. So it's kind of meant to launch. I need to delete this alert, but I'll recompile it. Alright, so I'm going to show you a demonstration. It's going to show you an alert, but it'll be gone once after this video is done. Okay. Alright, so let me show you the demonstration now. I'm going to run the tuner. Okay. And I'm going to minimize this. And I'll leave this open so that we can change it later. Actually, I'll just close it for now. Don't save. Alright, so we're going to hit the load settings twice to load your settings. Okay. Now, you also need to make sure you save it. So once you start the auto start, you need to make sure you save it. Uncheck it, just make sure it's registering. So now it's loading properly, so you know that it's in the system, not just visually. Okay. So we're gonna go to our tuning center, and everything's good to go. So I'm just gonna hit start 24. Actually, I need to load the browser first. So let me load the browser. Load browser, and also for this to restart automatically, you're gonna have to take two-factor off. So it's gonna, so that way it doesn't get blocked. Okay. And now I think later on I'll have the, I think I do have the ability to control Windows programs, so I can somehow link up to your two-factor auth or whatever it is that you use, and then be able to enter your two-factor that way. So auth desktop. I'm going to show you what the Authy app looks like. So instead of using your phone, you can then link it up to this guy, and I think I have the ability to control this. So I can just go and grab that two-factor and then copy paste it, and I can also save session cookies, I believe. So that way I can just click on it and then copy and paste the code and put your two-factor. But for now, you're gonna have to deactivate two-factor in order for this to work. Okay. And then later on, if I can save the session cookies, then once the cookies are saved, then you probably don't need two-factor later on too. But I just got to figure out how to do that later. Okay. Alright, so now I'm in. I'm going to click on something, and then I'm going to go ahead and start the tuner. And then I'm going to crash it to show you how it goes. Okay, so starting the tuner. So let's see it does stuff. Alright, so now it's doing stuff, right? It's gonna start tuning, checking things. And then I'm gonna have a way to, I think I can automatically move this down too, but I gotta figure out how to do that too. Okay. So I just wanna make sure it's doing something. I think it's loading stuff. So yes, checking ETH now and making sure it's good. And I'll check something else. Alright, so I think it's good. So let's go ahead and crash it. So I have this test crash button that forces it to crash. And then when it crashes, it'll show how it's going to load up and then what you need to do to stop. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and crash it now. So now it freezes the app and then things will close. And then this gets left hanging, right? So now it's going to restart itself. Maybe on my another screen, I'll try to drag it over here, but I can move it. And then this Firefox is going to be closed too, so it's going to kill all the processes. Alright, so I loaded on my second screen, so I'm going to try to move it over. It won't let me, so I'm going to pause it. Alright, I'm going to leave it running so you can see that this browser is closed. And then it'll relaunch. So you can just close the browser now. And then it's going to relaunch it. And so you'll see that this is all you see. There's no checkboxes, nothing you can control, because the reason why is because it loads the onload first before it loads my HTML panel, which controls this. And so because it loads that first before it loads any of this UI stuff, you can't see anything. Okay, so now it's gonna launch the browser and then start to navigate to your custom bot URL where the Mad Hatter bot is, and then start the tuning solution. Okay. And for some reason it double loads. I'm not sure why, so I'm gonna pass that over. Not sure why it double loads. Might be a bug on the developer side. So so I'll give you a few minutes to load. Oh, I think that I know why it loads, because I have this thing and it probably has a little timer or something. So I took this off, remember? So this is the alert to, I was debugging to make sure it's loading right. So once I hit that, then it loads up the browser and then starts to tune. So now I think so it's gonna relaunch the Firefox right here. So it can double launches, but hopefully it doesn't do it on your side. I'll test it to make sure that it doesn't do that. And then it'll log in automatically. And then it'll navigate to the custom bots and start retuning again. Takes a little while to connect, I guess. I don't know why, but maybe I had something between those two browsers. But anyways, there it goes. It navigates to it, and then I think it goes to where it leaves off. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll probably start from the beginning all over again. So it's gonna do this a couple times, and then I think eventually it'll find it, and then once it finds it, it'll start to tune. So it takes about maybe 2 or 3 searches or something like that before it starts to tune things. So don't freak out. Just gonna make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. Oh man, getting sleepy. Alright, let me pause this and wait till it finds something that it's supposed to do. Alright, so I think it's still searching for whatever reason. I remember seeing it kind of search 2 or 3 times or 4 or 5 times. I don't know what it was until you actually cycle through some lists or something, and then it started tuning. So I'll make sure I double check this, I'll fix this if it's a problem. But yeah, if it goes through, then I'll release it, and then that's how you would change it. So now oh yeah, so now that once you close it, it's gonna try to tune again. Let me close one of these guys. and then you're gonna have to go into this in order to stop it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in Notepad. Alright, so now this should be true. In order to stop it from launching itself over and over, you make sure that's false, save it, and it'll stop launching itself over and over. Save and close. Okay, and then you know, it'll probably close that. And yeah, because even though it does this, it'll still relaunch itself over and over until you set that file to. So I think it just launched again. Stop it, die, go away. Okay, so there it is. That's how you stop it. And I'll make sure I double check to make sure it's supposed to run the way it's supposed to do. Okay.